And we also had props. And you were like, Carla, we need to make this. And we had like these little bags of seeds, and we had to like incorporate them in the dance. And we had
Mhm.
to jump and throw and catch the seeds at the same time. It was pretty crazy, I remember. But it was really beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah. So, what was your favorite part of the co-created process, and also, or the least favorite part?
Um, so my least favorite part was that I had to, it was, I don't have a least favorite part, but the most challenging, let's say, apart from jumping, doing a fouette and layer and catching and throwing the seeds at the same time. Apart from that, a very challenging thing was being in a studio by myself and starting like starting creating something, um, because it was also it's the first time that I created something that is so like so big and like something that so many professional dancers performed, and in so many stages. So it was the insecurity of being by myself and like facing myself in an empty studio and being like, okay, now you need to create this thing.
Mm.
And so that was the most challenging part. um, but it's also, I feel it was like something, it was a challenge that I overcame, and it made me like stronger. It was something that, you know, it was very empowering also at the end. um, and the most rewarding, it's all of our performances. Every time we perform it, I remember also like one of the most powerful performances was after we performed in Mark's garage after Ali, because it was such a great way to transition, because of her hula performance, to transition into 3017. I thought it was perfect. And yeah.
Yeah, I feel like this piece have definitely grown, and since 2000, I mean 2017, not
Yeah.
2017, 2017, and then now having the addition of Sekou performing, the part of the ancestral guidance, and definitely when we're back in Hawaii to have Ali'i as the guidance,
Yeah.
the guiding spirit in a way. So really just ties the whole piece together. Um, how has creating and performing 3017 impacted you professionally and personally?
So, like I mentioned before, it was the first time that I was, someone trusted me to create something, especially as part of the repertoire of a company that has been around for so long, 10 years, 11, 11.
Yeah, 11 this November. Yeah.
Um, and so thank you, Linda, so
Thank
much.
you.
It was, because of that, I felt a lot of responsibility, and at the end I felt it was a stepping stone into starting creating movement, not only for me but for other people as well, and trusting myself and my process, and also seeing it, seeing it come to life. I have so many ideas about dance, and it's in my head, but seeing it come to life and manifest in front of you, it's a totally different feeling. So
Mm.
yeah, that's the biggest thing, because it was like a first for me.
Yeah, it's
uh,
very impressive that it was a first for you, because 2017 has been like our crowd and also festival favorite. It's gotten us into every single festival that we applied for. Yeah, and then every time when we perform the whole, so 3017, just for those who don't know, it's a part of our bigger production called Cypher Homecoming, and it pretty much starts the the last act, right, of the show, which is the homecoming part. And yeah, and every time we perform the show, like 2017 is always a part people were just like amazed. I think because the movement is so beautiful, it's so fluid, but also so challenging to do. And then also it brings all the elements and it represents DU really well in a way because it brings all the elements together. Not just the dance part, but also the spirituality, the growth and healing part as well. But I've always wanted to congratulate you because I feel like you probably don't hear from me enough. So if you don't, I apologize for that. But it's a really amazing piece, and everyone always, tells me how much they love it.
Yeah. That
Definitely
makes
put it
me
on your
really
resume.
happy.
As I definitely put it on your resume.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, so how do you think 2017 is relevant today, given what's going on with COVID-19 and quarantine and all the
Yeah, and
people,
all that craziness.
Yeah.
So it's immensely relevant. It's exactly what the piece is talking about. So the piece is like, okay, let's come together. Let's imagine what the world will be in 1,000 years. So the first thing is what is happening now is we like everything, this little virus brought the whole world into a halt and everyone got shoved out of their comfort zone. We are in our houses. We're encouraged to like look inwards, and since we can't go outside and we're physically distancing, and we are all thinking about the same thing, the idea of how of the reality is now challenged. We have a new reality, we're adjusting to it. There's a lot of uncertainty about what is going to happen. So what we're doing is we are reimagining the world. So a lot of people are, there's a lot of worry, of course, about what is going to happen. Is, you know the capitalism, is it like coming to an end? What is happening? Blah blah blah. And it's, we don't know, but I think most people are thinking about what they want to change in the world and what seeds they want to plant, what what baggage they want to bring from the old world into the new reality, what seeds they want to plant, how are we gonna cross pollinate with each other, and reimagining the world, like what is important, weeding out stuff that is not serving us anymore, finding our values. We have so much time, and I think we are investing it, like most artists are investing it into trying to figure out what is really important, what is their purpose, how can they serve, and how can we make this world a better place. um, Also, another thing that I was thinking is it's so crazy because we never think about how our actions, no, not we never think, but it's sometimes really hard to grasp what our actions, what impact they can have in 1,000 years. But right now we can see like something really small that happened with bats in Wuhan is impacting the entire world. So it's like it's helping you also. This is like challenging my whole perception of how something that you can do can impact a lot of people and can reach a lot of people as well. So that was another thing. But yeah, definitely reimagining the world and like figuring out what patterns, we want to bring with us into this new reality that is happening after this portal that we are in right now.
Yeah, definitely. I love that you said that, what you said about how a small action can, create, like it can impact a lot of people, essentially like creating a ripples. It kind of brought me back to our discussion with Ali in February. Like,
Yeah.
I'm so grateful we got to all go on that trip
Oh
before
my
quarantine. So I'm so glad we got to go. Um, in a way, everything we manifested for kind of happened, not in an ideal setting, but what she said was, you know, everything we do, we have to keep in mind that it impacts, everything we do impacts the next 7 generations, and we have to be very mindful of that. And also, like, also understanding like some of our trauma and patterns come from our ancestors. So how do we create that resolution as well within ourselves, right? Before we can even manifest the solution in the community. And I think another thing that I love about, I love seeing in the dance community at least, is that people are teaching classes, they're sharing, like somehow as a dancer and performer, like we love to share. So people are offering these free classes or donations only classes, and there's like companies are putting out like full on free shows.
Yeah, you said you watched Martha Graham's repertoire online, right?
Yeah, I watched Ailey Revelations, and I know a lot of other companies are also posting their shows online. Like Lincoln Center has all their shows online. The Met, New York Ballet, like so things
There are
that
some Broadway shows also
I don't
online.
know. I haven't seen Broadway shows yet. They
Some
are.
recorded, I think. Andrew Lloyd Webber. I read somewhere. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think it's the time to Google. But I think it's great because like it just also reminds us of how important art is. You know, like in art, in any art form. You know how important it is to kind of carry us through hard times, and why it's been a part of humanity since the beginning. Um, so going back to, you know, the idea of 7 generations, which is, I don't know if it's 1,000 years, kind of 700 years, um, you know, and then 7,000, I mean, 7 generations before us and 7 generations after us, kind of just keeping that idea in mind. Everything we do now, you know, is important to not just us. So yeah.
But yeah, about the arts, absolutely. It's such a great thing to see everybody share, but also how it is important for healing for each and every one of us, or to disconnect from the news and what's happening in the world, how many cases we had this morning and all that. Like everyone is watching movies, is listening to music, they're dancing, they're, you know, it's really important. They're looking at art. So yeah, let's remember that after this.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Hara.
Linda.
Yeah, so we will keep you guys posted on everything that Hara Zi is doing in DU and outside of DU. Um, follow her on Instagram. You have an Instagram that we can follow.
It's Hara HARA underscore ZI Instagram.
Okay, we're gonna edit it and put it on here on the screen. All right. Thank you, Hara.
Everyone, thank you. Bye,
Take
Linda.
care. Bye. I'll see you
I'll
tomorrow.
see you in class.
Bye.